Creating a surface from a point cloud. In this video, we'll show how to set up a point cloud to create a surface, and simplify the surface once it's created. To create a surface from a point cloud, you want to have your graphics established with just point cloud points that should be used for your surface. In this front view, you'll see I have several points, the green points, which are vegetation points above my ground. I want to make sure that these points are not going to be used for my surface. If I were to go through right now, and specify that I want to create a surface from this, go to the prospector, right-click on the point cloud, specify Add Points to a Surface. This will then ask me which surface I want to create, such as surface from the LAS file, indicate the style I want to use, what points I want to use, all the points, just a graphic selection, or an object that might already be in the drawing. When I click on Next, I will then have the information that I'm about to create. We'll see here that I'll be using about 220,000 points for my point cloud. Many of those points would be these vegetation shots I do not want used. For processing and creating your point cloud, I'm going to go to my point cloud properties. Specify I only want to use points that are related to my surface. In this particular case, I'm going to look at the classification and specify just ground and model key points should be used. By doing this, my graphics will change, and I will now see that I only have ground points that should be used for my surface. If I now go through and specify I want to add points to the surface, as I process this information, I will see the number of points is greatly reduced. In addition, if I want more or less points to be used, if I click on my point cloud, the ribbon will change and allow me to specify a point density. Point density is a percentage of the total number of points that should be displayed, and these are the number of points that will be used and added to the surface when it's generated. If I want more points to be used, or less points, I can change this point density. I'm going to reduce the number down to just 10%. I can then go back to my point cloud, right-click, and add points to the surface, or if I click on the point cloud graphically, the ribbon does have add points to the surface. I now want to create my surface, specify to use a point cloud extents, and now I will see the total number of points that should be used. When I click on Finish, the surface will be processed and displayed graphically. If I go to the surface, right-click and go to Surface Properties, on the Statistics tab, the General will show me the total number of points that were used. So it's important to go through and establish how the point cloud is being displayed prior to generating a surface from that. If I'm doing overall planning for an entire area, I may not need a very dense surface. I can go through, change my point density, and reduce the number of points on my surface. Once the surface is generated, I can then still go through and reduce it further. From the surface, if I expand the definition, if I right-click on Edits, I have the option to go through and simplify the surface. The Simplify Surface command has options to remove edges or remove points. Depending on what you have set, you can use the entire surface border or just go through and simplify specific areas. For the reduction option then, I can specify the number of points I want to remove. If I go back to my simplification method, I'm going to do a point removal instead, once again using the entire surface. And now I have a different option here for maximum change in elevation. I'm not going to try to remove a very specific percentage of points, but only those points that might have a maximum change in elevation. So if I say I want to keep points that are within a tenth of each other in my surface and remove everything else, I can do that. I can then click on Apply. This will take a moment to go through and simplify the surface, and then report back to me the total number of points that have been removed. With that total number of points removed, I then can click on Cancel. The surface has already been simplified. If I inadvertently click on Finish now, it will actually go through and simplify the surface again, as you can see it's doing now. If I go to my surface, I can right-click, go to my surface properties. On the Statistics, I will now see the total number of points that are remaining. On the Definition tab, I will see down below that Simplify was run twice. The first time when I clicked on Apply, the second time when I clicked on Finish. This is a common mistake that some people make, not realizing that when they click on Apply and see the number of points removed, they then click on Finish to end the command. If I do not want that second simplification, I can remove that from the surface definition, or remove it completely by right-clicking and saying Remove from Definition. When I say OK, and OK, I will rebuild the surface, and the surface will now have only those points that I wanted from my point cloud.